Well, it was Sweet 16 for the Townsville Fire as their 16th straight win culminated in a WNBL championship. Hello and welcome to the WNBL show. I'm Megan Hustwaite, and joining me for this championship edition of the show is the three-time Coach of the Year and now one-time championship coach, Shannon Seebohm. Welcome, Shannon, and congratulations.
Thanks, Megan. Happy to be here.
I'm sure you've had a very happy few days since Wednesday night when you won Game 2 at the State Basketball Centre. It's been incredible seeing what you guys have been up to and how your community has continued to paint the town orange. Tell us what the champions have been doing.
Yeah, it's been pretty flat out. Since arriving back, we had a handful of people meet us at the airport, which was really cool for the players. The girls have spent a lot of time together. We've had a couple of different functions and, had a parade yesterday where basically, we were driven through the town. A lot of people sort of lined up on the streets and then, everyone kind of gathered in the centre of the city there. And, the mayor was there. It was actually really, really cool. It was great. I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but it was a huge turnout, big reception for the girls, and it's been really, really exciting back here in town.
It's worked out perfectly because you did want to win it in Game 2. You had to do that away from home, but you did have a good representation of supporters on Wednesday night. But then to get home and be able to celebrate it with the club and community, it's worked out perfectly.
Yeah, it's been unreal, to be honest. Like, couldn't even imagine what it would be like. Obviously, having a heap of people there. When we played Southside on their court the other night was great. And, my family flew in and my kids were there and it was a very special time. And obviously, you never know what's going to happen in those games. So we're really happy to be able to get it done in 2 and, to come home and just see, how much, I guess, the Fire and, sport means to this community and the fact that we're able to win the championship and come home and celebrate it with everybody here. And, yesterday it was incredible. It was just a sea of orange out there. There was a lot of people. And, just I think to see, the girls' faces as well and what it meant to them and just how amazed they were with the whole spectacle yesterday was great too.
When I interviewed Courtney Woods after Game 1 in Townsville, she spoke about the support around the city and said that she felt a bit like a celebrity, and that's how they should be treated. But it's been amazing. Just the scenes from the parade yesterday were incredible, and it's what these girls deserve. They are first-class athletes playing in the second best comp in the world.
Yeah, they really are, and they do deserve it. And I think that's the great thing. I think this season across the league, I think attendances were up as far as I'm aware. And, I think women's sport in general is starting to gain a lot more traction, not just in Australia, but globally. So I think it's a really exciting time to be involved with women's basketball in particular. And, I think obviously we're so lucky in Townsville that we just have great support year round. So it's awesome for the players. And I think it's great they're finally getting the recognition they deserve.
So 16 in a row culminating in the title. So it was the most important win yet. But was it the biggest test you've had in that winning streak? Because you knew that Southside were going to come out firing on their home court. And it took you a lot of work and a lot of grit and a lot of character to hold them off and go on and win it in 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And we tried to keep the win streak thing, out of our minds and all those things. But definitely that was the toughest game of the season. It was the most physical game of the season. We knew Southside were going to come back out and give us everything they had, and they did that. And to be honest, for small patches of the game, I wasn't worried we weren't going to win. We always felt pretty confident, but there were certainly times where you thought, oh, maybe this is going to go to Game 3 and we're going to have to go home and those types of things. But I think in true Townsville Fire fashion this season, we found a way. We got down 5 in that fourth quarter and things were looking a little bit rocky. And, our girls showed great grit and determination as they have all season long. And we're able to find a way to sort of, erase that deficit and then build a little lead of our own and hang on to it. So, it was an awesome feeling to get it done. And, I guess we showed that resolve that we have for the last, 2 months or whatever it's been since we last lost.
And it was your D, which has been such a highlight throughout the winning streak, but particularly over the last 5 or 6 weeks. You spoke about it at 3/4 time, about 1 quarter to go, but you really leant back on your defense in that last quarter to get the job done.
Yeah, we did, and it was probably, I think we've been a lot better offensively this year than defensively, which for my teams, I suppose that's not common. I think we've been a lot better defensively in my time here in Townsville than the other side of the ball, but it took a lot of work this year and a lot of effort, and particularly that last 2 months of the season, we spent a lot of time at practice drilling down on that, so we had confidence going into the finals that we were going to be able to get it done on that side of the ball. And I think, our last 5 or 6 games of the season really showed that.
You picked two absolute beauties in your imports this year, Tiana Hawkins and Carly Samuelson. Tiana, a top 5 finish in the Susie Batkovic medal. She wins the Rachel Spawn medal for Grand Final MVP. How much of a joy has she been to coach and have around the program, but also in terms of what she's brought at both ends of the court?
Oh, look, I can't speak highly enough of both of them. They've been amazing, but I guess Tiana, she is a pro's pro. She's just, with all of her experience and time in the WNBA, and I think, the biggest thing is obviously her role in the WNBA is very different to the one she played with us, but I think she obviously learned to, take that lead role by the end of the season. But I think even speaking to her, I was talking to her yesterday, and just how much she values the Kate Gazers of the world that were on our team that maybe didn't play as much, but they have that role that she has in Washington. She loves those guys, and I think she's just grown in leaps and bounds in terms of how she fit in with us and our team, and obviously how she played as well. She had a slow start to the season, and I think once she sort of found her confidence and found her groove in our league, she showed that she's the best player in the comp. And, I just can't speak highly enough of her as a basketballer, but more so as a person. She's just an unbelievable person to be around every day. I think my relationship with her has grown so much across the season, and we've grown very close. And I just, it's going to be sad to see her go home in a couple of days. And now the trick's going to be trying to get her back. So, we'll be working on that. I'm sure she's going to get a lot of big offers overseas and things in Europe and everything, but we hope that she loved her time here and we can get her back again next year.
I think the first thing there, Shannon, is we've got to get Emmanuel enrolled in school in Townsville, and you've got connections in the school, so I think that might be the first step to re-signing it. Every championship has so many storylines. You've got so many amazing ones, Steph Reed and her incredible rise at Townsville under your mentorship. And then you mentioned Kate Gaze and Shyla, who were doing very different things in round one and in the last game of the season played in a championship. Michaela Roof, one of the recruits of the season, a double-double in the grand final. And we're going to talk to Zitina Aokuso shortly, but it's important to remember in round 3, she had a broken foot. So to come back from that injury, let alone play her role throughout the finals, has been incredible.
Yeah, definitely. Look, and we've had a lot of heroes step up along the way. We've had different contributors at different times. You mentioned Kate and Shyla had a big game in the, grand final series as well. And Courtney Woods did that. Zatina's done it. Lara McSpadden stepped up and won us a game against Southside earlier in the season. So, we've had a lot of different contributors, and I think that's the reason we were able to be so successful is that, the depth and the players that have been here for a while that have put the work in and, and really improved their game so they are ready for those moments. But, Zitina obviously breaking her foot at the start of the season was a big loss for us. And I thought, the work she'd put in the preseason, I thought she was primed. Her mindset was really good, and she was primed to have probably a career year, and that obviously derailed that a little bit. But to see her be able to bounce back from that, come back in, and, once she found her feet, we didn't lose another game. So, she was a massive part of it, and she's someone that I still think has a lot of levels to go up in her career and hopefully in her time in Townsville. And, she needs to have a big off season this next 6 months, and I think she'll be able to come back and cement herself as the premier big in the league.
Hear, hear. Now, before the 22-23 season, you'd never beaten Southside, Shannon. You did them 5-0 in WNBL 23. It's an incredible sweep. Obviously, the series in the home and away season, and then to win the grand final 2-0.
Oh, yeah, it was great. And obviously, there's a bit made of that, and I'd never beaten Southside before. And, that it's a credit to them. They've had fantastic teams, and Cheryl's done a fantastic job with them the last 4 years. And, obviously this year just something clicked for us, and we're able to, for whatever reason, we matched up really well with them. We're able to play well against them, and and sweep that series. But it was, I think, we showed all season that we obviously lost a couple of games early on and had a couple of streaks there. We lost 2 in a row. But once we found our feet, we were playing great basketball and were tough to beat. And it just so happened that we met them in the grand final and were able to keep that thing going. So I'm very happy that we did that, and hopefully we keep that going for a few more years.
So you win your first WNBL championship as a coach, and you join an incredible list of coaches to win championships as a young coach early in their career. Have you had time within the last few hectic days to reflect on what it means to now have that ring?
Yeah, look, it hasn't really sunk in, to be honest. It's been so flat out since we got home, and we've celebrated it and all those things. But I think the next couple of weeks it'll be a bit more quiet. I'll have a chance to sit down. I'm sure it'll probably hit me then. But it's, I'm really blessed, I think, to be in the position that I'm in. And as you said, at the age that I'm at, to have had all of these different experiences, not just in the WNBL, but coaching in general. And, it's been a very humbling experience. And I hope that there's many more to come, but it's, I'm certainly going to enjoy this one. And I think it's one of those things that don't happen very often. And, as I said, I'm just blessed to be in this position, to work at this club and to coach the players that I do is amazing. And I certainly don't take it for granted.
Well, the Townsville Fire are blessed to have you. I'm sure the championships are going to happen a bit more often, that's for sure. So deserving, Shannon. Congrats to you and the whole organisation. You got a big celebration coming up today, so enjoy that. And congratulations again on an incredible campaign.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Megan, thanks again for everything you do for women's basketball too. I think you do such a great job of covering the sport and, immersing yourself in it and the players and telling their stories. And, we're very lucky to have you.
Thank you, Shannon. You'll make me cry again. I've cried a lot the last few days. Thank you.
No worries. Thanks heaps.
Well, one of the great stories of Townsville's championship is that of Zitina Aokuso. She had a broken foot early in the season, recovered from that injury to play a part in the title, and she joins us today. Welcome, Z. Congratulations on the chip.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
How does it feel to be a championship player?
Feels amazing. I think it's been a long season. We faced a lot of adversity, and I think it's bittersweet to have come out with the win.
You've faced adversity yourself. You broke your foot in the warm-up in round 2. What's it been like to get back on court and then be able to contribute the way you have off the bench?
Oh, it's been amazing. I think I started off a little bit rusty, but I think that's always going to happen coming off injuries. But I'm really happy with the outcome and how I performed.
How much confidence does Shannon give you in the way he coaches and the system around you and the teammates that you've got in this Fire team?
Yeah, I think he gives me a lot of trust. Anytime he puts me in, when we need scores and energy, I think I feel very confident when he puts me on then.
And what's it been like at training? Because I think the real MVP is you. Everyone talks about Tiana, but someone's got to match up on her at practice, right?
Yeah, well, it's not even me. It's Michaela Roof. But when we do get the mismatch and me and Hawkeye are going at it, it's always good fun. We're always giving each other a bit of banter.
And how close has this group been? Because we know you've loved to spend time together off the court, and that chemistry certainly played a part on the court.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really rare to find a team where everyone always wants to hang out with each other and are genuinely happy for each other and care about each other. I think it's really rare, and I think Shannon's done a really good job of finding good people.
Tell us a bit about the celebrations. We know you won Game 2 on the road, but you did have a good representation of Fire fans at the State Basketball Centre. Take us through what's been happening from Thursday when you arrived home through to today.
We had a bunch of fans come to the airport, and that was really nice. It was a nice surprise for the girls to come out the doors at the airport and see a lot of Fire fans there. And then Friday we had our silly Friday, and we did White Lies, and that was really fun. And then Saturday? What did we do Saturday? Saturday we went to a Cowboys game. The Cowboys got us a box, and that was really fun going to their game. They got the win. And then on Sunday we had our parade. And the parade, I think, is the highlight so far for me. It was amazing to see the whole community come out, and it was a lot of fun.
They're amazing, aren't they? The community, like they've got behind you as they always do, but the way the businesses have, decorated the shops and the streets. And I was up there for game one. It was amazing. And then to put on the parade for you, it was just incredible. And you're being treated like the rock stars you are.
Oh, absolutely. They treat us well, and we're so grateful. And for them to paint the town orange, it was amazing. It was really cool.
So on to NBL 1 now, Z. When are you off?
We have Opal's camp coming up soon, so we'll do that, and then off to Mount Gambier after that.
And hopefully you can have a great NBL 1 campaign, and who knows, maybe Asia Cup. Is that your next sort of goal?
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone always wants to make sure they can achieve the elite levels and be on the elite team. So it's definitely one of my goals, and I'll work towards it.
And just finally, Z, you've had the cutest fans follow you right around this season. Tell us a bit about your family, because they are the cutest kids and they love Auntie Z more than anything.
Yeah, my family are number one. Without my family, I wouldn't be able to be the person I am today and push through all the things that I've been through. And I'm just really grateful that I have a loving and supporting family.
Better give the kids a shout out.
Oh, yeah. Mila, Jericho, Winter. There's too many. Winter. Mateo. I love you guys, and thank you so much for always being there for me and letting me be the best auntie I can be.
You're a good auntie, Z. You're a good player as well. You're a championship player now. So well deserved. Congratulations on your season. You showed so much resilience and grit to come back from that injury within a season, and you played a huge role in the title. Thanks for joining us today, and enjoy the rest of the celebration.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Well, joining me in the studio this week is really the player of the WNBL Final Series from the Southside Flyers. She's also the acting captain. Hello, Bec Cole.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for coming in. I know it's not always a fun few days after losing a grand final, but it's been an incredible season. So thank you for coming in.
No worries at all. Like you said, obviously it's hurts the heart a little bit for a few days, but I think the Flyers, we definitely did some amazing things this season, and I think you have to reflect on the positives and the good things in order to get through what has just happened.
Because it's a long season. You had 3 games in your semi. Like I don't think that can be underestimated, like how tough physically, mentally, the rivalry with Boomers coming back after a loss in game 2 to win the series. Like that would have been taxing. And then you're on a flight to Townsville the next morning.
Exactly. I think people probably underestimate like the emotional I guess, part that it takes out of you, because of course it's all physical, and like you said, it's a long season. So coming to finals, you're pretty much just running on adrenaline and energy, like to play those 40 minutes. And then the rest, you're like, oh my God, how am I doing this? But, versus Melbourne Boomers, us being the crosstown rivals, absolutely amazing. Like went to game 3, won by a point. Oh. That's almost like you won a championship in that context. Yeah. So it is. Takes it out of you, and then you're like, oh, okay, nope, that's in the past now. We got to go back up and go to Townsville. So it is a crazy time.
That 11:30 a.m. flight to Townsville. But did you sleep on the flight? You would have been cooked from the night before, were you? Or were you?
No, I was cooked, but I'm wired. Like I think even that night.
There's no Wi-Fi on that flight either.
No. I was just staring at the blank wall being like, okay, what do we have to get done next game?
What about your final series? It was one of the best things of the final series. It was like, and I know we spoke about this like personally, not professionally, but earlier in the year, maybe in your swimming pool, talked about when you're in a team where there's so many weapons and there's so many people that are scoring and doing things, and it was like you had to sort of find this new facilitator role, and then Amy Rochi gets injured, and you're a leader anyway, but you're the captain with the title. And so you play a different role, a really important but different role during the home and away season. But then it's like it was your time. The game needed someone to step up in the semis, and it was you.
Yeah, I think, obviously we lost LJ in that game, and it's sort of, it disrupts, but in a sense it's sort of good it happened then, so the girls could get a few games to be like, okay, how do we play without the presence of LJ. And then obviously, we lost Amy, who's, our leader on court and a great point guard who can
and
facilitate.
A huge rotation.
Yeah, massive. So losing her early also sucked, obviously. And then, Kayla down the track with her ankle. So it was like, okay, the dynamic shifted. And you know me, I love pressure situations. I love an atmosphere. I'm passionate and, I'm a vet now. So I feel like I was pretty cool, calm and collected. And I was like, okay, need to keep this group together because a lot of stuff has happened and we need to push through and get it done. And, I'm super glad that I was able to, do what I can do and I guess step up. But I think at the end of the day, I would have preferred to play shit and won a championship.
Yeah.
But, I guess like you said, individually, it was great to, come through as a team role player and then step up when my team needed me and whatever that was, defense, offense, just being, vocal, whatever that was,
The flex.
Yeah.
You had me at the flex in game 1 of the semi-final. I thought, oh no.
I know.
Saw you do it on the baseline. I went, uh-oh, this spells trouble.
I know. When it's a single pump, it's good. But when the double pumps are there.
It was over.
Oh, no.
But take me through. So it's a different season in terms of like scoring output. But it was just, someone had to step up in the semis and it was you, right? So like, how have you kept yourself ready to go when it's your time for you to soar and you did it? Because, I mean, you mentioned you're a vet, and you are, but it still takes a lot of mental strength to be ready to go in the moment.
Yeah, I think, during the season, it was hard. I'm not going to sit here and say it was easy to, have a massive role change, I guess, from the past 4 seasons. But I also want to win a championship. So, okay, let's get it done. I don't care at the end of the day. But I think for me, I just love finals time. It's so hard to get to a final, let alone win one. And, for me, we were lucky we had 3 Melbourne games. So to have, our home crowd be able to come with us to the boom box and, you have your family, your friends. And I think also you just get to a point where I believe in my abilities and what I can do and I know I can produce when the time comes. And for me, I had to step up and lead my team. So I'm glad it happened. I can't really say I don't know what it is to be like, yeah, you turn it on and let's go. I just think I knew we had some players down and it was like, okay, this is my time. I have to lead this team and, I hope I did it to the best of my ability and I just want to help my team however I can.
You did, and I think it's just being a pro. It's not being like, oh, I'm a pro athlete. It's just being a professional.
Yeah.
I think it's incredible what you did and it throughout wins and losses in a semi-final series. I mean, you nearly got your team over the line in game 2 last Wednesday night. Tell me about the atmosphere because you guys started on fire and you wanted to and you needed to and you spoke to me about that after game 1. So let's talk about the start first of all. Was there big emphasis on a strong start?
Yeah, had to be. You go back and you watched game 1 against Townsville and the shots they made were actually super hard. It was Samuelson on a step back 3, Reedy on a step back 3, I think Hawkins on a 3 and it was just you just shot yourself in the foot, but they were hard. So it was just we changed a few defensive tactics and I think that definitely helped and we all knew we have to come from the get-go and we have to throw the first punch. We can't let them just get it easy because they're a quality team. They sort of get 10 points up and it sort of, goes away and we need to stay cool, calm and collected. But it's a shame. I actually watched the game back the day after. Don't ask me why I bloody did that. But I think it was more I know.
You know that emoji?
Spicy. Yeah.
Insert here the one.
Yeah. But I was just is there more I could have done? Yeah, I just had to look back and, there was a time I saw Shannon and I think Shannon is an incredible coach, but I think we had Shannon going for a second there and it was in the last 3 minutes that we lost that game and it's sad to watch that back and see that. But, hopefully it's everyone grows from their learning situations. Yeah. And like I said, obviously that stings. Can't keep looking at that. But what a bloody crowd we had,
They were so good. They were so good.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't reckon they get enough credit because there's always like bells and whistles around certain crowds, like, oh, they've got the best crowd and like, you know, whatever. Everyone's got great crowds, guys. Like, yes, but we have to give them credit. They showed up. Like, you've had some Wednesday night games in there. It is tough. Like, that was 6:30 at the State Basketball Centre. That is a hard time to draw a crowd for what was a deciding grand final for you? And they showed up. Like, they have shown up.
100%. And I've said it before, like, having LJ was amazing, you know, to put more bums on seats. And I was actually very interested to see, once she got injured, will our fans still want to come? And it was so great they did. And I was like, it's a credit to, you know, women's sport in general and the Fly girls in the, you know, the basketball that we produce on the court. I think we have a very entertaining team where, you know, we're passionate, we're feisty, but we also play a really fun brand of basketball. So I think for me, that was almost something really special, is that they stayed. They didn't leave and they supported us through till the end. And, you know, it was amazing. I'm not going to lie, I was sick of hearing those bloody cowbells from Townsville, but it's credit
to— And they
to—
were even in Melbourne. It's like you got those through security.
I know.
I can't even get my dry shampoo through security on a WNBL road trip. They got the bells in.
I know, but it's just a credit to, I think, our league is elevating and people are wanting to come and travel to, you know, watch their teams play. And I think that's absolutely awesome. But, you know, having a full packed out arena, you know, it is another player on the court. And, you know, sometimes it does help you get that extra bit of drive or, you know, get that win at the end of the game.
How about the airlines? We saw you put the flights up. They put the flights up as soon as, you know, game 2 in Melbourne. So respect to those Townsville fans who, you know, paid a packet to come. You talk about fans, you know, coming when LJ was playing, like she was the major attraction, like this is like Luna Park or something. But they kept coming. They kept coming. I got 2 names for you, sis, Billy and Danny.
I know. It's incredible. Even at the grand final series, I think, is it Mick Manning as well, the Collingwood?
Oh, Mick Malthouse.
Mick Malthouse, sorry. You know me, I'm a soccer gal, not an AFL. Yeah. But having such big names, and of course, you know, credit helps, like Jerry is a very well-connected person, but yeah, they come once just to see what it is. But the fact they kept coming back, you're like, wow, how exciting. And we had Brendan Favola as well, you know, with his girls on the baseline. And it's like, how cool is that? Like 5 years ago, you weren't seeing that at a WNBL game.
No.
And now you're seeing like huge celebrities that I would see when I go to an NBL game sitting courtside. I'm not seeing that when I'm coming to a WNBL game, but.
And mind you, in Wanturna, like respect that you've come out there in peak hour traffic.
Exactly.
It's not Saturday night at JCA.
No, especially in Melbourne, dear Lord. Like any freeway you're going on, respect everyone coming out.
Respect.
But amazing, absolutely amazing. And I had a chat with Billy after the John Cain Arena game, and that was the first time I spoke to him. And like, he's just such a bloody nice guy and had, you know, such good wise words to tell everyone. And that's why I love meeting new people in the sporting world, because you just be a sponge and you can soak up knowledge from other people, because at the end of the day, yes, it's different sports. They're not going to be telling you tactics, but how you handle certain situations or, you know, all that stuff. It's really bloody cool.
It's been so good. What about Cheryl? Like, you talk about you being cool, calm and collected. I don't think I've ever gone to one of her timeouts in my career and she's ever been close to losing it. Like, does that have like, do you agree? Like, she doesn't. No, it doesn't take much. You know, she's just very, you know, we're all right here. The message is very consistent. Is that an energy that does, you know, play onto you guys when you are in different situations and you're not coming in and being blasted by her?
Yeah, I think that goes back to, she was my head coach at under-19 World Cup with the Gems, and she wasn't like that then. Like, that's been Cheryl since, you know, day one. On an odd occasion, if we're playing bloody terrible, you know, at halftime, we might hear a little bit.
Yeah, she won't do it in the timeout though.
You know, that is her. She's real chill. She's calm. And, you know, I think maybe with our team this season, it was probably good. And we had a few, you know, older people. So while the assistant coaches and her are talking, it's, you know, it's me, or maybe it's Kayla or Amy, you know, we're saying something that's probably more like, and fiery.
That's true.
And then, you know, you get her calm message to be like, it's all good. here we go again. And also, I think times have changed. Like, I don't think really coaches are yelling at anyone anymore. Like, that's how I grew up and I bloody loved it, to be honest. But, it instills something in you. But, she's a pro. She's been around for ages. So it's I'm not surprised that when it gets to the big moments, she's been in finals. I probably couldn't even tell you how many. She knows what to do when it gets to that stage.
And also, a lot of people talk about this year, Flyers are stacked, yada, yada. You had 3 season-ending injuries and replaced one player, which was Mon for Dallas. But it can't be easy coaching a team that does have a lot of egos, and that's not a negative reflection. No. It's a lot of professional world-class players and players that have achieved things on the biggest stage. So I'm sure it hasn't been an easy job at times either, trying to, make sure everyone gets a look and everyone's happy. And then, things like the injuries and, you have a crowd record-breaking night and LJ gets injured in the first 90 seconds. Like, there's been a lot.
Yeah. I think, as well, she's gone from Opals to this, Opals back. True. And it's like, that would just be a lot in general. Like, we're tired after a season. Coaches are the same. It's, we do the same thing. It's just a little bit different. But I think that, we do have a lot of people in our team that, we have big personalities or like you said, we're a stacked team. But, at the end of the day, I think people don't give enough credit to it's hard to make everyone happy. Like, that's not an easy thing to do. Sorry, these nails, I don't know what to do with them.
Postseason. Yeah. Tell me you're in postseason.
Right. And it's not an easy thing to make everyone happy. And I think, a bit of credit needs to go to making a team that is stacked of that caliber to work well together, because it could easily not. It can easily blow up. You've seen it happen in other teams. And also, out of the 4 seasons that we've been in the WNBL, we've made it to 3 grand finals. So at the end of the day, I think some credit has to go to all of us to, your roles are changing or you're just getting through, or, she's got to help a certain player out at this time. I think probably not enough credit is due to,
I agree.
to make it all work.
No, I agree for sure. And I think too, like, you mentioned the adjustment, with losing LJ, and it just cracked me up. Literally the night that she went down and people were like, oh, well, the Southside Flyers, they're done. And I'm like, have you seen the roster? Like, really? You're going to write off that team? But it's a huge adjustment losing her and her aura and probably the intimidation factor that she probably doesn't realize she has on people. But, people are matching up against her that I'm playing on Lauren Jackson. Like,
yeah, that's someone you looked up to,
right?
And now
you're trying to guard her, trying to guard her. There's been a lot happen.
It has, and I think, like, say for me, when we lost her, for me, it was similar to, say, when we played with Liz Cambage. Where you play sort of one style when they're on the floor, and then when they get the sub or they're in foul trouble, you play a different brand. It's a bit quicker, it's up and down. And so for me, I was like, girls, we're fine. Like, we're still winning games. It's just an adjustment now to having played with LJ and how we play with her. Now, we have a few games to get back into, how we play when she's off the court. So it's something where you have to let your team know we're fine, because you can listen to the media, you can listen to other fans say,
or as Maddie Rocci says, the internet.
Yeah, exactly. The internet. But you have to have belief. Like you said, we have a stacked team. It's anyone's given day. It's and that's what's so special about playing on a team like that. But for me, I was glad sort of I had that experience with such a big inside presence for when they're not on, or unfortunately LJ got an injury. Okay, we're good. We just need to go play this style of basketball that we're all good with. And we still made it to a grand final.
Yes.
So,
and I think, again, like, credit needs to be given to that, because particularly that hub season with Liz, it was the same thing, like, oh, they've got Liz, they're going to win, But Liz got in foul trouble. All those things that happen. She got in early foul trouble in the grand final and Leilani stepped up. You played a smaller type of ball in that 2020 grand final. So, Yes, all these perceptions and the internet is very interesting, but incredible record for the Flyers. You know, what did you say? 4 years, 3 grand finals.
Correct.
So you've never played in the finals and not made the grand finals. So that's incredible. Obviously, 2 grand final series in there and then a standalone in the hub.
Mm-hmm.
So you've built very successful foundations in, you know, the early years of this new organisation.
Yeah, and I think also that's due to, you know, Jerry Ryan. Like, he actually believes in women's basketball and he's been able to create this very professional team. Like, coming from, I guess, you know, 5-10 years ago, what clubs were doing, other clubs have 100%, you know, risen and they're just as professional. But it's, you know, you get in and it's all about, you know, you're shooting or doing an indie with a coach. You have 2 hours of team training. You know, now we're getting catered for lunch. Like, that wasn't a bloody thing. You know, then we go lift and then we get treatment and it's like, oh, all right, let's go home and go in my compression boots, make dinner, go to bed. And it's amazing that, you know, we're able to hoop for a living, but we're getting, you know, treated so well. And that's, you know, that's not going to happen at every club. It's a credit to Jerry Ryan and how much he supports the WNBL in general, but, you know, obviously especially Southside Flyers being our owner.
Yeah, and like going back to when Dandenong got the license. I mean, Tracy Browning, your GM, was the first captain of Dandenong and she, you know, initiated that relationship with Jerry and Jayco out at Dandenong. So it's been incredible, you know, right through Dandenong's history and championships in amongst that through to the Flyers. So what's next? Do you have a break and then NBL 1?
Yes, having a little break. I think it's important for the physical and mental. I'll still hit the gym because, you know, I love the gym.
You're Bec Cole.
Yeah. And well, I'm going on a holiday. So, of course,
good.
the bikinis are out.
Yeah.
You've got to be looking good.
Yeah.
Got to be looking fly. So now I'll have I think I have about 3 weeks off. So, and then I go back and I've with the Waverley Falcons for the NBL 1 season.
Carly playing?
Carly is playing. I'm not sure if she's playing for the whole season or not. To be honest, I haven't really spoken about it.
We haven't really got to NBL 1 yet. No offense. Tune into the NBL 1 show soon though. But
But I love playing with Carly. We have such a good 1-2 game. Like I love that chick. She's a bloody weapon and can't wait to get back on the court with her and be a Falcon. I like to stay up in the air apparently with my team names.
You?
Yeah.
And what about next season? Are you signed? Are you re-signing? What's going on?
Yeah, so I finished my 2-year deal at Flyers. So I think there's a fair few of us besides maybe the young guns who joined our team this year. So, you know, have a bit of time off and refresh and then I guess all the talks start again. So hashtag watch this space.
Free agency. Well, it starts 21 days after. So after the grand final. So it's going to be on. There's already a lot of talk, you know, doing the rounds. You know, I love a bit of, what's that? Really?
I'm the opposite. I have like no idea what's going on. I'm in like bloody La La Land being like, let me just like sit in my couch chair for a while and not think about anything. But yeah, anyway, so it's an interesting time and I'm excited to see for me what's going to happen, but also, the league.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've made some big strides this season, but I think it's what we do next, isn't it?
I know. I just want the league to go up because, you know, I think when you speak about the national team players and stuff, if someone was in Chatty, I would love everyone to be like, oh, my God, that's so-and-so. Oh, my God, they're the captain of the Opals. Or, oh, my God, that's the point guard. You know, they want to get photos and it's like people don't know that. And that makes me sad because I'm like the growth that women's sport has had in other sports has been amazing and I would just love basketball to go with it. And, you know, we've obviously taken levels up from, you know, when Timsy was playing and Robin Ma and all that. So obviously it's getting there, but we need to elevate more. We need to get further to stay with those other sports. And, you know, at the end of the day, you want to leave the league how you know, better than you found it. So I'm not leaving yet. I was just saying, you know.
But just on that, and I don't want to talk too much Orange in case it's a little bit triggering.
No,
but
it's okay.
you know, we spoke to Courtney Woods after game one, I think, and she was talking about how, they'd been painting the town orange and all this kind of thing in the lead up to game one, and someone recognised her in the street, and she said she felt like a celebrity. And we've seen, they had a parade and they got greeted at the airport, and yeah, like it's a regional city, so it's a smaller pool of people. But you must look at those kind of things. And we saw it when Bendigo won their titles and all that sort of stuff. Like, that's what we want, like, and that's what you talked about, right, with Chatty and stuff. Like, that's how you should be received and viewed. Like, do you see that even though it's Townsville and just think, oh, like, that's great?
Yeah, of course. I wish I was, in a parade being like, yeah, won the championship. But
with the cowboy hat.
Yeah, hot pink one like GP at our functions. But you have to give credit. It's amazing. Like you said, it's regional. So like everyone gets around it, and that's what's so great about regional teams. But, the fact Courtney Wood said, she's walking down the street and they're like, that's Courtney, oh my God, plays for the Fire. Like, that's sick. Yeah. That's where it's gotten to, especially in Townsville. And, I was interested. Game one, it was like the Cowboys were playing. And I was like, oh, I wonder if people will even rock up. But they did. They, got drunk and then they bust.
They bust them. Like, I love that.
Yeah.
They were presented at the Cowboys game on Saturday, like with the trophy, and goes back to what we were saying about Billy and all that kind of stuff. Like, what really pisses me off is like when it's always in March, when it's like March Madness in Melbourne, because there's so many things on, and it's always the same picture on the front page of the Herald Sun, and it's, a horse for the All-Star Mile, it's AFL men's starting, it's netball starting. We are never in that photo.
Yeah.
And it is so annoying because that's our business end of the year. And like this year we had 2 Melbourne teams in the finals. Where is our Bec Cole in that photo?
Yeah.
So I want to see next March we are represented in that photo, because why aren't we in the conversation?
100%. And it's, we've had a few, we've been in the Herald Suns, but it's not with the pack.
Yeah.
So it's great we're getting
like a mention.
Yes, it's great we're getting that, because that wasn't happening a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But also, why are we not with the rest of the Melbourne pack?
Yeah.
We need to be in there, and it does, like you say, pisses you off that you're not included in that when we're in our finals and it's so exciting at this point. Whereas you go to the Fire and, I'm walking down the Strand and you see stuff everywhere. They're in the paper, and, personally I'm like, but so amazing for them.
and again, like, and also I want to like shout out all the media. So like Townsville Bulletin, like front page, back page, winners posters, bloody everything, all those local media that cover their teams. But also, what about the content creators and the photographers? Like this season, like how many were there at game 2? Like
heaps.
So many, and like you guys get tagged in them as you should, like the videos, the photos, like it's what you deserve. But a lot of those people aren't paid. They are doing it for the greater good of the WNBL and the athletes, and they don't get much out of it. So thank you for all the work you do, because you are producing important content, right? Like,
amen. And not every club has enough budget to, hire someone for content creation, or, they might have them, but it's only really for game day and, or maybe they're an intern or something. But like you said, these professionals, they're coming and they were so excited. They're like, yeah, Coley, I'll tag you. Like, what's your handle? Blah, blah, blah. And you're like sick, because they produce such good content and, you want the world to see it. You want that helps as well with everyone knowing that the WNBL is here.
Yes, and because these people are professionals and creatives, so they're bringing literally their own lens on this stuff, and they don't get anything out of it. So I see all of you, and we thank you for all your work.
Round of applause.
Round of applause. Do you want to do any more thank yous, because it's the last episode? Like, do you want to do any like final words or like any thank yous?
I want to thank my mum and my dad, because I love them so much. They flew to Townsville.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Flyers
yeah,
fans.
because it was your birthday. We had
that was a grim
grim start to your birthday, wasn't it?
Daniel, thanks for putting up with me, because I
look forward to seeing him again over the next 6 months.
Right. Maybe I'll see you around. Not my partner, just my housemate, Who I think thanks to the Fly gals, I think, that was tough what we did, but so proud of us to get to the, the grand final and push through. And thanks to the Flyers fans who bloody, they showed up time and time again. I think all the volunteers as well.
Yes.
Like there's beyond.
So many volunteers.
So many. And game day wouldn't happen without those people. And then, of course,
the floor wipers.
They're cute.
We are going to get a sponsorship with Co.
Let's do it.
Seriously.
And then, of course, all the staff and team managers and 100% for me, physios, masseuse, love them. But for all clubs, not just Flyers, like everyone who's involved in getting this league up and running, big thanks to you.
Seriously, because at every club, and you see it when you go, in what is interstate for me to other states, and, it's not full of resources. A lot of people are doing a lot of things, putting up, infrastructure and just doing all the things. That hasn't changed about this league. So we see you and we hope you have a good rest.
Yeah, you bloody deserve it, that's for sure.
And respect to you, Rebecca Cole, because, you didn't have to come in today. Like, you can just shut up shop and say, nah, we lost and no thanks, no internet.
No, yeah, right. Nah, you know me. It's you have to think after. I give myself a couple of days to be angry and pissed off, and then you have to get on with it, because you worrying about that isn't going to help your future self. So happy to come in and chat. Well, I haven't chatted to you on the show all season. So
I haven't really seen you. Oh, I have seen you. That's a lie.
We see each other a little bit. Yeah, maybe at the very start.
Yeah, mainly at Townsville. And I want to say thanks to all our guests, because, again, like, you guys aren't just full-time elites. Like, people have come on here, I've asked people with a minute's notice sometimes and they come on in between practice and time differences and study and work and babies and
amen. But, you help support us and you've been there from day dot. So I think a lot of us want to give back
literally day dot.
Yeah. So I think also a lot of us want to, give back to you, and it's always fun chatting on the microphone.
It is. Thanks, everyone. We got here in the end. Didn't we?
Yeah. You just Dory, just keep swimming.
We always keep swimming. And I know that you were the victim of 15 and 16, but gosh, it's pretty crazy that Townsville finished the season on 16 wins. I mean, no one really saw this coming.
No.
A winning streak of that length.
I know. I really thought we were going to get them, just like they had beaten us all those games, but I'm like, they're due to lose one. And just like Boomers.
Always one win closer to a loss.
Right. And then like Boomers, they were able to get one win, you know, and I was like, yeah, that's going to be us.
You know who takes the credit for the winning streak? It's no one from Townsville. It's Steph Talbot. They last lost to Adelaide on like January 5 or 6 or something.
So Tubbs is like, you're welcome, Townsville. Yeah. Sorry, everyone else.
Right. Literally, it was the day. So Sarah had 41 against Melbourne on the Wednesday night. The Thursday night, Adelaide beat Townsville by 30. First week of January, never lost again.
Oh. Yeah. Well, when you lose by 30, it does something to you,
Didn't it? She did something.
And shout out to Talbs, though. I hope she's recovering from that. Oh, it's never fun. Makes you feel sick when someone does that. But
when you've been through it, haven't you?
She's a pro, so shout out Talbs. Hope you're healthy and road to recovery is well.
Might finish with a Stelbs story because that season that we were in the hub and we spent a lot of time at the Ville, and we had the captain's day or something at the Ville before the season, and went up to the quarter deck and had a feed. I ordered a margarita pizza, and I don't want tomato slices on it.
Oh yeah, no.
Really?
I don't like cooked tomato.
No, I don't want that on there. Well, Stelbert was perplexed by it, right? So this has been going on for 2 years. And game 1, I think? Or it might have been must have been game 1 of the semi-finals and against Perth. And I, crossed the road from the Ville. I thought it'd be rude not to. It'd also be rude not to send a picture to Stelbert. And she says, I knew when you sent me a video exactly what it was, and tomato belongs on margaritas. And I disagree with you, Stelbert, on that. I know you're an all-star at a World Cup, but you're wrong.
But I'm an all-star pizza eater, baby.
Yeah. Margaritas for life, Bec Cole. Here's to 2024. Woo.
Oh, yeah, woo. Jesus. Just get me through 2023 first.
Jeez, let's think about that later. But thanks, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming for the last episode, Bec Cole.
Pleasure.
And let's go and have a Mad Monday.
Woo!
Some pizzas.
Amen, sister.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.